Hey, it's Neecee Lexy lighting up the screen. Digital magic like you've never seen. From the stage to the mic, she's bringing the heat. With celebs and biz minds, it's always a treat. She's a boss, she's a vibe. Watch her come alive with awards on the shelf. Yeah, she's on the rise. Social waves, making plays all day and night. Neecee Lexy in the spotlight, shining so bright. From marketing dreams to the YouTube flow, live interviews with stars you know. Every post, every show, she's changing the game. Neecee Lexy, yeah, remember the name.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Neecee Lexy Live Interview. I'm your host, Neecee, and today we have an incredible guest who is revolutionizing the way business communicates with using AI. Joining me is Amir, the CEO and the founder of Call AI Cast Assist, a cutting-edge company that is specialized in transforming how business engage with their customer through AI-driven call assistant, with a strong focus on innovations, efficiency, and also making seamless customer interaction. Call AI Call Assist is making a wave in the industry, and I am super excited to have him today. Last year, they were proudly participating in the startup program at Collision Conference in Toronto. And as we all know, Collision is one of the biggest conference in tech. And today, Amir will be sharing more insight as to how AI-powered communications and business innovation is impacting the future, as well as the story behind how he came about creating his company. Without further ado, please let me welcome the one and only Amir. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. So before we start, I just wanted the people who are watching either from here in Canada, in Africa, or in America to get to know a little bit about you. Like, where did this whole AI start about it? And basically you as a person, introduce a little bit more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for the introduction. So, my name is Amir. I'm the CEO and founder of AI Call Assist.
Mhm.
We're an inbound AI answering system. So, what that means is we connect our software to all kinds of businesses like restaurants, salons, barber shops, healthcare, whatever kind of business that has a lot of customers that are calling them. So, our software connects to their phone number, and
Mhm.
time a customer calls their phone number, our system picks up and
Mhm.
conversates with them just like a human being. It is AI, so
Mhm.
any type of question they may have, like operating hours, location, type of
Mhm.
services, if they want to schedule a call, if they want to reserve a table, all that can be done through our software. So there's no need for any kind of representative or
Mhm.
human interaction. Everything is done by our AI. And
Um,
originally, how this all came together was one of the nights in Toronto, I was trying to make a reservation at a restaurant. I think it was like
mhm.
Friday or Saturday night, and it's always like impossible to get a reservation if you're trying to call a bit later at night. So I kept on calling and nobody was picking up. And I
Mhm.
just wanted to know if they're even open or what time their last call is, not even to make a reservation. But no,
Mhm.
I tried two different restaurants, none of them picked up. And I was thinking it would be great that there was a system that you could call and interact with where it would provide you these simple questions, not even that complex, right? Because you just call and you want to know what time they're closing. And
Yeah.
I got to work, I put together a team, and then we started AI Call Assist pretty much. We started with some basic, very simple system setup, which would just answer simple questions like operating hours, location, but then we
Mhm.
started doing more research and more integrations, and now we've deployed AI call assist in all kinds of businesses and all types of integrations. As
Mhm.
far as working with e-commerce, we can integrate the software with their website and
Mhm.
even place orders online. It can keep track of customers' orders. So if a customer were to call a e-commerce store, and
Mhm.
ask, hey, I'm calling to get a status on my order, our software would go, what's your order number or what's your tracking number? And then it would provide them with a detailed response.
Amazing. Wow. I love the development of the AI. Also, like having an experience of how stressful it is for you to book an appointment with like a reservation and then be like, oh, you know what? That's a brilliant idea. I can come up with a whole brand to like so that nobody
Exactly.
else can feel that again. It's really, really interesting, as well as like, how AI right nowadays, a lot of people kind of have that fear of like, oh, AI is replacing our job, da 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 da. So, and then just watching you talk about how seamless AI functions, it's like AI obviously like, is driving like the customer interactions and becoming more common. How does your platform ensure that that seamless transition looks like, especially for like receiving those customer service like reply and the human like experience? Can you just elaborate more on that? Yeah.
This is actually a great question. So, I mean, from our perspective and our team, we do think that AI is replacing certain things and making tasks easier and maybe getting rid of certain tasks that
Mhm.
currently you would have to hire a specific role for.
Yeah.
But we're not completely getting rid of that human touch because a lot of times, again,
Hmm.
example of this with us would be, let's say you're having a conversation with one of the restaurants that's using our software.
Hmm.
You're calling to ask if you forgot your wallet there. Obviously, our AI can't help with that or it doesn't know the information. So what it
Yeah.
would do at that point is it would transfer the call to a live representative. So we're not completely getting rid of that human touch, but we are
Hmm.
making the process a lot easier of having the organizations that are using our software focus on more important tasks in
Hmm.
order to streamline their process. That's kind of the word we like to use here. Because at the end of the day, our goal is to streamline all businesses' operations so their
Yeah.
employees can focus on more important tasks than to pick up the phone and answer the same 10 questions they do every day.
Amazing. Hello and welcome to the live interview with Neecee Lexy. We are thrilled to bring in an exclusive content in partnership with the startGBC at the George Brown College. The startGBC is a dynamic hub for innovations and entrepreneurships, empowering students and alumni to turn their business ideas into reality. It's a program that is fueling with the next generations of entrepreneur by providing them with tools, mentorships, resources that need to succeed in this today's fast-paced business world. Throughout these partnerships, we are shining spotlights of the inspiring stories of the Start GBC talented entrepreneurs who are breaking grounds, pushing boundaries across various industries. These stories are not just for success. They are about resilience, creativity, and the power of entrepreneurship spirit, as well as innovations. Each of our guests has a unique product, innovations, and business model. We are super excited to share their stories as well as their business ideas so that you can be inspired to tap into the entrepreneurship journey or even get a new business partner. We're looking forward to share with you guys these incredible stories, and we would love to take this moment to thank the Startup GVC staffs and members for allowing us to highlight their stories and also partnering with us here at the Neecee Lexy Show. We are looking forward to hear some of the incredible stories and also share it with you. So, from your experience right now launching this company and also the AI feature, and some of the customers that you have worked with, which industry do you think that it's currently like benefiting more with these particular service that you're offering, like
I
business?
think any type of service focused industry uh,
Mm-hmm.
is currently what it's meant for. We
Mm-hmm.
are planning to kind of expand into all kinds of industries eventually, but we think that healthcare, there's a lot of potential, and,
Mm-hmm.
and also hospitality. So
Yeah.
hotels calling for bookings, reservations, making changes, things like that. We find
Mm-hmm.
that it's very useful. So I would say hospitality and healthcare are currently the two that we're planning on focusing more on. But so
Yeah.
far, it's been any type of business that's kind of service oriented. So examples of that would be kind of golf centers, gyms,
Mm-hmm.
like other examples could be VR facilities
Mm-hmm.
or any type of kind of sports or activities that you have to call and book something. Those
Yeah.
are the businesses that we've been focusing on: salons, barber shops, nail salons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those have been what we've been focusing on now, but based off how the market is moving forwards, we see a lot more potential in hospitality and healthcare.
Yeah, I can also see a lot of like great connection because for me as a digital marketer, a lot of my client that comes to me, especially with those type of industry, they ask us to increase the number of phone calls, and then we would have to create like a local search ad, which is the Google My Business and type of information like that. And then now that you guys have like a secondary functionality towards that, I feel like that's kind of bridging that gap. It's really amazing to see what Call Assist can also offer in the market as well with support of like the marketing side. Let's get back to a little bit behind the scene, like the background. What inspired you to get into tech? Like, were you always, as a young kid, be like, you know what, tech was like my thing, or how did you start about that journey?
So that's a funny question. No, actually, like I was never into tech. So
Yeah.
my background is mainly in sports. I used to play
Yeah.
tennis,
Oh,
and
nice.
I think I was about 4 or 5 when I started playing tennis, and I used to compete professionally. But then
Yeah.
around the age of, I think it was around 18, 19, uh,
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, and then kind of changed the process of becoming a pro, and I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
then I got out of that, and then I always had a lot of interest in math,
Yeah.
and kind of computer programming, computer science was um, one of those programs that I had a lot of interest in. So I decided
Yeah.
to do computer programming, and I got into it, met a lot of new friends, a lot of connections, and then really enjoyed it. So that was the main factor that got me into computer programming. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, you could say COVID. And then throughout my program, I met a lot of friends in that current program that helped structure and develop AI Call Assist.
Mm-hmm.
So during the time I was in school, we were able to kind of build our MVP and to actually have a demo ready for showcasing to the businesses that we would be reaching out to.
Yeah.
And pretty much like everything was done with a small team of 3 to 5 developers. And then slowly, when we got a few new clients, we started investing into more outsourcing and bringing in more technical and more professional developers in order to kind of expand and enhance the software for us.
That's amazing. I love that journey, you know. It's like going from one particular industry and then obviously like pivoting is what we call it. And it's really great. And your pivot actually end up introducing something that's very valuable to a lot of business owners. And then last year you also announced that you were going to be at the Collision conference. Me, myself, I also attended it. It's one of the incredible events happening here in Toronto. Can you share a little bit about your experience in that event and what impact did it have for Call AI Assist as a company?
Absolutely. So that was a great conference. Thankfully, we had the opportunity to present the software
Mm-hmm.
on, I think it was the second day. So the second day we were presenting the software, got a
Yeah.
lot of great response from everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of what we noticed is that there were a lot of other startups that would really want to use something like this because they
Mm-hmm.
don't have the budget to have, a hiring a what we call a
Mm-hmm.
customer center or hiring employees to take all their customer calls.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like asking us about what's the pricing like, how can we use it? And we ended up actually collaborating with a few startups during that event where we kind of provided the software to them for free in return
Mm-hmm.
of some other kind of collaboration. So that
Yeah.
was the first things that we really kind of enjoyed from Collision.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting a lot of other startups, learning more about what they do, what their process looks like, how we can potentially improve certain factors, not just about the software, but also internally, like sales, marketing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more, right? And so that was the second thing. And then the third thing, I think, which is kind of the main reason everybody goes to these type of conferences, is the
Yeah.
connections you can meet, right?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of new connections. Very one of the kind of like better connections that I had the opportunity to kind of
Mm-hmm.
talk to and connect with was one of the CEOs of a few of the hotels in Toronto that had a lot of
Yeah.
interest in potentially using our software. So that
Yeah.
was one of them, and then some other companies like Canadian Tire. I was able to connect with and potentially have a conversation with them in order to integrate the software because there's a lot of need. Like everyone we spoke
Yeah.
with, Collision, they kept on saying the same thing. There's a
Yeah.
need for this. They can easily save a lot and also improve their customer support because not only you're getting rid of all the wait times, all the wrong answers, but
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting rid of the employees that you have, or not getting rid, but reducing your costs by using our software and then only having them when it's really urgent.
Yeah, I do agree to that, especially like we're right now in a day and age where like the tech and AI is kind of, helping us and assisting, especially like for the business side, it's a lot of like cost saving. That's why you see like when you go to the stores, they don't have a lot of cashiers, they have a lot of machines for checkout. And then
Mhm.
you now introducing the call assist to help like mitigate that perception as always have to be there. Like some AI power will be taking the calls as, it's really important. One thing I wanted to ask you, let's say, because obviously there are going to be a lot of people watching this video saying, Amir have done such a great job. I want to be like him. How can I break into the AI industry as a startup? What type of advice do you have for them from your journey and how they can benefit from your own personal advice and experience?
I think personally, for me at least,
Yeah.
obviously the idea and the solution we had was we were actually the very first organization in Canada to have a solution like this. So
Yeah.
very first Canadian organization to provide an AI answering system and
Yeah.
with a response time of under 2 seconds. So as soon as you say your question, under 2 seconds, our system responds back.
That's a
Um, so I would say probably having a good idea,
mm-hmm.
doing some research on competitors, are there competitors? And something that always my mentor tells me is
Mm-hmm.
when I used to chat with him is like he would ask me, he's like, "Do you have any competitors?" And I would say, "No, we don't have any competitors." But there's always competitors. There's
Yeah.
always some kind of competitor, if not the exact solution or exact product, but
Mm-hmm.
very similar. So doing research on those organizations to see what they're doing, what their product is, what
Mm-hmm.
can you do potentially better than them.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be kind of the first step. And then second is building a strong team. I would say that can go a long way. Putting a team together, you can't really do everything yourself. So build
Yeah.
a strong team that can help you with the sales, with the marketing, with building your website. Because as a startup, you don't really have a big budget. Uh,
Yeah.
so I would say putting a team together that can help you and it would speed up the process a lot more. And then the third thing, just not giving up. Just keep
Mhm,
trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep failing, and
mhm,
just keep going until you kind of hit those milestones of getting your first user, getting your second user, getting your third user, and then
mhm,
keep trying because there's going to be a lot of fails, I would say. At least
mhm.
for me, it was like that. So just failing, not getting that customer, not getting that client, different type of rejections, but then just keep pushing past that in order to kind of hit certain milestones that you set in place.
That's amazing. I love that advice, especially like, failing is not the end means is like, okay, this is an opportunity for you to pivot, for you to like grow, for you to see like what other stuff you can improve. And I also love the fact that you mentioned that, building a company is not a one-man show. Like you gotta have other people in the supporting you in any areas possible. Yeah. So that's really, really great advice. And that's also like kind of goes back to saying that many startups actually do struggle with scaling. And then what has been like one of the biggest challenge that you personally experienced when building the call AI assist? And then how were you able to pivot to make sure that you overcome those challenges?
So personally, I think again, when you
Yeah.
when you're growing or when you're kind of
Mhm,
choosing who you want to collaborate with and work with, that's
mhm.
kind of a big factor of who you want to bring in to
Yeah.
your company. Who do you want to have do your sales?
Hmm.
If they're not personally invested, even if you're hiring them, so let's say you're going to pay them a salary, you're going to
Yeah.
pay them, you're going to give them commission, whatever it may be, you
Mm.
really have to do a lot of research in terms of who they are, what's their experience, what's their personality like. Having maybe like personally for me, I like to have
Mhm.
after like interviewing someone, I like to schedule like an in-person meeting because I want to actually meet them, see
Yeah.
what they're like, and just get an understanding of what kind of person they are. So for me, I don't like doing interviews or talking to people over the phone or over like a
Yeah.
call, but actually having a conversation with them in person to kind of see what kind of person they are. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be a part of your family because your organization is pretty much your family. You want to have good people working for you that
Yeah.
are personally invested, that genuinely care about
Yeah.
the results and what kind of success they're bringing to the team. So I think that's a big factor, and we've had a lot of kind of issues with that in the past where we
Mhm.
interviewed a lot of people that we thought at first may have been a good good fit to the
Mhm.
team, but then moving forwards, we're like, no, they're not. So we had to kind of get rid
Mhm.
of them. And it's hard, right? If you're a startup, you either have people on commission structure
Mhm.
or you're paying them a small salary plus
Mhm.
some other benefits, right? So you're losing a lot if you're going forwards with the wrong person. So it's
Yeah.
if you kind of stretch that time out, if you're not sure, and find someone that you're 100% sure in that can provide the results that you want them to be providing in the whatever position that they're going to be working for you.
Yeah, that's a really a clear picture that you painted, especially understanding that hiring process is very costly, whether it's like time, monetary value and things like that. And even just as like a stress level, like, making sure that that person actually fits the culture of your company is really important that you highlighted that part. The other more things that we want to know, like the exciting parts of like currently what you guys are doing, how do you see call assist like growth in the next 3 to 5 years? Are there any like exciting development or expansions you guys are working on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just recently
Yeah.
introduced AI Call Assist 2.0,
Yeah.
which will be releasing by the end of this year.
Nice.
And what that is going to do, it's going to be helping reduce response time. So
Yeah.
currently, our response times are 2 seconds. If it's a very complex question like
Yeah.
something where the system has to go and extract specific information from a third-party platform. So, for example, the
Yeah.
same example I mentioned with the tracking number, right? It
Yeah.
takes a little bit of a time, but if it's a simple question as what's your operating hours, under 2 seconds. But
Mm-hmm.
with AI Call Assist 2.0, we're planning to reduce that to 1.5 seconds, and then
Mm-hmm.
also bringing down any kind of processing that the software has, like the tracking number.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a good example. We're planning to have that under 3 seconds. So within 3 seconds, it catches the information and then
Mm-hmm.
gives a response back. So that's what we're currently working on, and it will be releasing the 2.0 version by the end of this year. So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of one of the more exciting things we're looking forward to. And more or at the same level of interest, we've added French as a language, and we're also
Yeah.
adding Arabic as a language by the end of the
Oh,
year.
nice.
So we will be doing a lot of different languages. Spanish is one of them that we're working on. But
Yeah.
so far, we've been able to do French at a very high quality level. But then
Yeah.
Arabic is our next kind of language that we're focusing on, and then eventually we'll be doing Spanish. But that's one of the things that I'm more excited about, to be able to do Arabic so we can focus on not just expanding iCall Assist within
Yeah.
Canada, but worldwide.
Wow, I love that. First of all, I want to say congratulations in advance. That's a huge project you guys are working with. And extending the language is gonna be a game changer. Even myself, like I'm a bilingual, and to
Right.
be able to like be operating a company, both English and Arabic, that's a huge thing they're gonna do. And as well as like in Canada here, like the French and the Spanish, you're definitely gonna tap into like a wider market, like a globalist scales. So it's really like, I can see like where this is actually going, the picture is very bigger and congratulations in advance. Yeah.
I mean, look at I mean Canada alone,
Yeah.
where uh, we have kind of Quebec. Quebec speaks only French.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Not even just going to a French-speaking country, but like our own country in Canada,
Yeah.
everyone that's in Quebec pretty much speaks French. So that would
Yeah.
be something we would be able to provide to them in order for them to take advantage of. So not only
Yeah.
within um, Ontario, but also outside.
Yeah. And then also like even within like just like Ontario itself, like it's a very multicultural city. So it's just
Exactly.
also the diversified of a community here that will also benefit from it as well. Yeah. It's really good. Like I love that. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Hopefully it all goes well. We'll see.
Yeah. And then one thing I wanted to ask you is, let's say a business owner right now listening to this, I'm like, hey, I want to get in contact with you. I want to be able to like utilize this app. Where can they reach you and how can they onboard with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they just go to aicallassist.com, everything's available on our website. They
Mhm.
can try the different demos we have. They can go to our Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter in order to see some kind of demos we've done in the past with different kinds of industries uh,
Mhm.
that we've done. For example, real estate, healthcare. We have all kinds of demos available. But
Mhm.
if you want to start with the demo or trial, they can just easily go to the website at AI Call Assist, fill
Yeah.
out the contact form, and then one of our sales reps would get in touch with them to kind of see what their needs are and provide them with a free trial to actually try the software and see if it's kind of a good added feature to their current business.
Mm-hmm. That's really, really good. Yeah. I'll definitely also make sure that I include those information in the description below so that people can also get in touch with you.
Oh,
Um, the other question I wanted to ask you, this probably be like our closing questions. As a founder and a CEO, what leadership principle do you follow to keep your team motivated and innovative, you know? Because that's one thing like a lot of startups struggle with. It's like how to keep your team motivated to feel like they're part of the family. They feel like they want to continue on innovating with you.
100%. I would say setting goals is the first one because if
Yeah.
you don't really have a plan of what you want to achieve in a certain day or week, you don't
Mm-hmm.
really know what you're doing. I mean, obviously, setting a goal could be we want to reach 1,000 users, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the long term, but within the short term, what are your goals for this week? What are your goals for today? What are your
Yeah.
goals for this hour, right? So,
Yeah.
setting very small goals and having that final goal, I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a big factor. Sharing those same goals with your team. So sitting down, whether if it's in person, whether if it's through your Slack channel, whether if it's your
Mm-hmm.
group chat, email, your Zoom call, whatever it may be, sitting down with them, actually having a discussion of what the goals are for this week, getting their thoughts on things, making sure that they're sharing their point of view. Because again,
Yeah.
your team, especially when you're starting up, it may be a different story when you have 100 employees, but when you're a team of 10, 20 people, every member is a part of a family of the
Yeah.
organization. So making sure that they're involved in the process, they can share their thoughts on what they think about the goals that you as a CEO or the
Mm-hmm.
founder is setting. Are those realistic? Are those not realistic? And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously setting those goals and trying to achieve them with the team so they know what their goals are for this week. So for example, something for us usually is let's try and get one new user by the end of the month in a different industry or a different space. So all the team members know that, okay, for this month, our goal is to get a new client in the healthcare space. So
Mm-hmm.
we focus towards building that. We build documents, we do demos, we do testing so we can achieve that goal by the end of the month. Sometimes you may not reach the goal, but that's fine. Again, you start over, you try again, you fail, and then you try again, and then you'll make it.
Amazing, amazing. I love that spirit of like having a cohesive understanding of the culture, also like setting a goal as a family, as you mentioned, you know, these are all great advice. It actually shows from your leadership. That's why you're able to kind of like expand and able to have like a call a assist 2.0 and you know going further and further. It's really great. Um, Final piece of advice that I would wanted to ask from you is especially for there might be a lot of business owners that sees the value of your call assist app, right? And
Sure.
but they're a little bit hesitant to adopt into the AI solutions. What would you tell them in order to be like, hey, how could they be able to like switch their mind in that?
100%. We actually have dealt with a lot of that situation in the past where
Yeah,
we at those meetings with those businesses or mainly it's the more smaller organizations that struggle with this process. The
yeah,
larger companies, they know the value in terms
mhm,
of time saving, in terms of financial savings that AI
yeah,
can do for them, and
yeah,
how it could just ease the process for not just them, but the whole company. So
mhm,
at pretty much any role.
mhm,
But we've seen it more with smaller organizations where in the sales card, they're like, "Oh, I'm happy that my front desk receptionist is picking up the phone. I don't need this, right?
mhm.
We understand, but we would tell someone like that, wouldn't your front desk receptionist have more valuable things to do if they didn't have to worry about picking up the phone? Or
Yeah,
we would ask, would you not want to save $4,000 per month, for example, or whatever amount that they may be paying someone to just pick up the phone
mhm,
to invest into another part of the organization or another part of the business. So I
yeah,
think again, there's a lot of people that haven't really grabbed the fact that AI is very strong and powerful and it can help. Again, I
mhm,
understand that there's a lot of people that think AI may be bad, it may be dangerous, it's not something they want to bring into their organization, but I
yeah,
think the right softwares, we're all using AI every day now. I think anyone really
yeah,
you talk to is using ChatGPT in some kind of form or shape. So I
yeah,
think maybe taking a little bit more time again, I think we haven't reached that curve, but I think in 1 to 2 years' time, everyone, even like the very small organizations, will see that value. So I would say it's just going to take some time, but you have to look at the benefits any software that you're
Mhm.
deploying is going to bring. So I would tell them that, go evaluate the software you're planning to bring on or the AI solution that you want to bring on and see what are
Mhm.
the benefits and what are the cons. Most of the time, the benefits are a lot better than the cons.
Yeah, that is so true. Like, I love the fact that you highlighted this majority of the smaller companies that are the one kind of struggling with that transition. I have a similar experience when working at Google. A lot of the tier one, tier two clients are the one kind of hesitant with a lot of like the automated stuff that we were trying to pitch for them. And it's like once we give them like a demo, like, hey, you know what? At least try it for 14 days or a month. If you don't like it, you can switch back. And majority of them then end up switching back because then they understand the value of it. And the fact that you guys also have demo, I think like this is also great for them to actually kind of like test the demo and see how it works. And then once you go through the demo, you find value of it, continue on utilizing AI. AI is here to stay. So I feel like a lot of people need to start grasping on that idea.
It's just going to take some time, but it will happen soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amir. I really, really, really enjoyed this sessions and also like getting to know more about your company as well as like the story behind it. And for those who are watching, make sure to go follow him. Make sure there's gonna be also the link in the description below where you guys can also find him. And if you're a business owner, you also want to scale up your business, especially if you're in the industry that is service based, feel free to contact Amir and have a solution for you as well. Amir, it was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
meeting you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dream, Neecee Lexy, always on the scene. So hit that subscribe, stay along for the ride with Neecee Lexy. The hustle's worldwide.